Good morning and welcome to our English lesson today. A continuation of tenses. Last week we talked about adverbs. We gave examples or types of adverbs, adverbs of manner, answer the question how, adverbs of place, answer the question where, how. We have adverbs of place. These are all adverbs. They answer the question where. Adverbs of time, which answer the question when. Adverbs of frequency, which answer the question how many times or how often. And we talked of adverbs of frequency. When talking about adverbs of frequency, I gave out like adverbs of frequency where they are going to give you, for example, occasionally, and then they want the synonym of occasionally, which is what? Sometimes. Maybe they give you never in a sentence, which is an adverb of frequency, and they want you to give the opposite of the adverb of frequency, never, which is always. And maybe they are going to give you often. Then they want the synonym of the word often, which means frequently. Synonym are words with the same meaning, which means frequently. And maybe they want the opposite of the word often, which is rarely. It can be scarcely. It can also be barely. It can also be rarely. It can also be hardly. And these ones are synonyms. Rarely, scarcely, barely, hardly are synonyms, meaning they have the same meaning, but the opposite is often, and the synonym of the word often is frequently, occasionally, sometimes. And then you have, those are adverbs of frequency. They say they answer the question how often or how many times. Now, on to our lesson today. I talked about the present tense. He said the present tense is used to talk about actions that are taking place at that particular time, now, or at the time you are speaking. We talked of 8 tense is divided into 4 substance. Like we have the past tense, we have the past simple tense, we have the past continuous tense, the past continuous tense, and then you are going to have the past perfect tense, and then we are also going to have the past perfect continuous tense, the past perfect continuous tense. So you have the simple past tense, we have the past continuous tense, we have the past perfect tense, and then we have the past perfect continuous tense. It's the same applies to present tense, present simple tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense, and then the past perfect tense. So without further ado, we are going to talk about the past simple tense. We are beginning with the past simple tense. Number 1, past simple, the past simple tense. Or rather, let's talk about the past tense. When do we use the past tense in a sentence? The past tense is used to talk about actions that took place and were completed in the past. So actions that took place, actions took place and completed and were completed in the past. And were actions took place and were completed in the past. Actions took place and were completed in the past. For example, you can say Mary ate bananas. We can say Amina bought a dress. Or I can say the players played yesterday. The players played yesterday. So I have the past tense, or the past tense of the words, meaning these actions are not taking place at the moment we are speaking, but rather they took place in the past and were completed. Now we come to the past simple tense. The past simple tense is used to show how do we form the past tenses of what? First, we have those we call regular verbs. Regular verbs, I've talked about this. And then we have what we call irregular verbs. We have what we call irregular verbs. When I was talking about how to form the past tense, there is a topic, how to form the past tense, not the past tense as a tense. How to form the past tenses, I talked about regular verbs, and then we have what we call irregular verbs. Now, regular verbs are those verbs that you have an ed or a d at the end. You add an ed or a d at the end to form its past tense. Whereas these irregular verbs do not take d or an ed at the end to form its past tense. You realize that these regular verbs, for example, we have regular verbs. I want to form the past tense of the word play, then my past tense is going to be the played. Maybe I have dance, the past tense is going to be what? The past tense is going to be dance. But when you come to irregular verbs, there are different types of irregular verbs. Those that remain the same. Those ones change from an I to an A to a U. Those ones change from an A to a U to a U. Those ones that change completely. So for example, we can have irregular verbs, different types of irregular verbs. I can have an irregular verb. I can have sing from an I to an A, which is sang. And then I can have eat, the past tense of the word eat is ate. I can have hang, the past tense of the word hang is what? Hang with ayu, higher. So we can have ring, and then we can have rang. The past tense of the word ring is rang with an A. Now, you realize that, and then there are those past tenses that remain the same. For example, put, you can have cut, and then you can have cut. You look at this: sing, sang, eat, ate, hang, ring, rang, put, cut. Some remain the same. Some change from an I to an A. Some change completely. Like eat, the past tense of the word eat is ate. Like they are totally not similar. So the way you form the past tenses of words is different. There are those that take an ed or ad, and there are those that change completely. And on that note, the past tense of the word here is had. For example, here, today, yesterday, you had. Now, I've seen in your composition most of you write heard. Most of you write what? Heard. This is wrong. Present tense is here, past tense is her, past tense is had. So I have the present simple tense. It is simply the present simple tense. So we talk about the present simple tense to talk about an action that took place and was completed in the past. Example, you have ate, you have bought, then you have played. For example, I can say my mother hung the clothes on the line. The clothes yesterday. Hung the clothes yesterday. Now, when it comes to this, or the present simple tense, the past tenses of what most people don't understand, maybe most confused verbs are hang, then you have lie, then you have lay, and then we have lie. Now you realize that this hang, it can take a hang, past tense is hang, past participle is also hang. It is an A to a U to a U. But we have also hang, then you have hanged, and then we have hanged, like to be killed while suspended. So we say he was hanged for murder when somebody is killed. But when you say hang of A, hang over you, and then hang over you, this one means to suspend. like the way meat is placed in a butchery, or the way we have clothes on the wire line. You say my mom hung the clothes yesterday, and then you say the thief was hanged for murder, or the robber was hanged for murder. This is to be killed. And then lie, an art of not telling the truth. The past tense becomes lied, then the past tense becomes what? Lied. You lie today, yesterday you lied, the previous day you lied. You say the act of not saying the truth, the act of not saying the truth. And then we have lay, when a chicken produces an egg. Lay, today, an egg. Yesterday, the hen laid an egg. The previous day, the hen laid an egg. And then you come here, lie, like to be horizontal on the ground. Today, lie. Yesterday, you lay. Past participle, you lay. Past participle, you do what? You lay. Now you pay attention to their past tenses. You pay attention to their what? Past tenses. Lie, lied, lied. Lay, laid, laid. Lie, lay. You see, it is a mix of A and B. When you come to lie of C, it is a mix of A and B. So today you lie. Yesterday you lay. The previous day you had lain. Why did I have here had lain? Because the only moment you are going to use the past participle of a word, make sure you have a helping verb. Make sure you have a helping verb. So this lie, lay, lied, lied, lay. These are past tenses of words that are commonly confused. You hung, yesterday you hung, especially if it is clothes or meat in a butchery. So you say the butcherman had hung the meat. But Abdi, but you can say wherever the boy was hanged for murder. Like the boy was killed. So the present simple tenses of words, the past simple tense of a word, simply talks about an action that took place in the past and was completed. An act that took place in the past and was completed. But the past simple tense can also be used to talk about actions that took place concurrently in the past. You can say Amina sang while they danced. 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 These are all past tenses of the past simple tenses of the word sing, sang, past tense simple tense of the word dance, which is danced, to show actions that took place in the past at the same time. Actions that took place in the past at the same time. Now, you can also use the past simple tense to show a habitual action that takes place in the past. He ate mangoes every day. For example, if you talk of habitual actions, we talk about the present simple tense and how to use the habitual actions, the present simple tense. But you can also use the past tense to show habitual actions, like a habitual action that took place in the past. A habitual action. If I say it is a habitual action, what I mean is it used to occur in the past, like on a day-to-day basis. You can say he ate mushrooms every day. He ate mushrooms every day. He ate mushrooms every day. What does that mean? In the past, he used to. So we say he ate. Like right now, he doesn't do it no more. But in the past, he used to eat what? Mushrooms every day. So it can also be used to show habitual actions in the past. You come here to the past continuous tense. We have what we have, the past continuous tense. How do we form the past continuous tense? The past continuous tense is formed by was or were plus a present participle tense. If I say the present participle tense is simply the ing form of a word. For example, you can say was singing. You can say was singing, or you can say was singing, or you can say were what? Was singing. So the past continuous tense formed by was or were plus ia plus ing. This is the past continuous tense. Past continuous tense. You use was If the subject is singular, if I say a subject, simply the noun in that sentence, and then you use were if the subject is plural. If the subject is plural, you say, I say, you use the singular was and plural were. Like you say, Amina was singing. Amina was singing. But you are going to say the pupils were singing. The pupils were singing. Pupils is plural. Amina is singular, which we can replace with she, a pronoun that shows what? Female. Singular third person. So you say Amina was singing, or you can say they were singing. Singular was and plural were. So the past continuous tense, if you see a sentence is having was or were plus an ing, plus ing, then it is the past continuous tense. So example in a sentence, I'm going to say Abdi was dancing, singular. You can say Abdi was dancing, and then plural you can say the teachers were teaching. You can say the teachers. The teachers were teaching. The teachers were teaching. So you have Abdi was dancing. The teachers were teaching. You can say Grace. You can say Grace was cooking. Grace was cooking. You can say the ladies. You can say the ladies were shouting. The ladies were shouting. So I have were, here was, here was, here were, plus ing, plus ing, plus ing, which forms what? Plus ing, which forms the past continuous tense. The past continuous tense. Now that brings us to the past perfect tense. The past perfect tense of is formed by had. When I was talking about passive and active voices, I talked about the past perfect tense. How do you form a past perfect tense? Now, this brings us to the past perfect tense. So this brings us to the past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. I've talked about the present perfect tense. How do you form the present perfect tense? It's formed by has or have plus what? Yes, plus a verb in its past participle form. A verb in the past participle. A verb in past participle. A verb in the past participle. Now, has is singular for the present perfect tense and have is plural for the present perfect tense. Now, why is this important? Because if you are not in a position to differentiate between the present perfect tense and the past perfect tense, or the present continuous tense and the past continuous tense, then you realize that when it comes to active and passive voice, or changing from direct to indirect speech, you can't do anything because you don't have clue of what to do. Unless you master tenses. How do I form this tense? How does it change how do I form this tense and how does it change to the active? You don't have a clue. And this is important, especially if you are going to write your composition. It is simple. Make notes, sit down and see what is correct. So you have the past perfect tense is formed by had. It's formed by had unanimously. So it's formed by had, whether it is singular or plural. Formed by had plus a verb in the past participle form. In the past participle. In the past what? In the past participle. Plus a verb in the past participle. Example, we can say, she had eaten bananas. She had eaten banana. She had eaten bananas. We can say, she had eaten bananas. Or you can say, they had drunk juice. So you can have drunk, remember it is drunk with IU because it is the past what? It is the drunk with IU because it is the past participle of the word drink, because it's the past participle of the word drink. Now it is simple. Any moment you see this, you see a helping verb, had, for example, has or have, were, you just remember that after a helping verb, you always go in for the past participle. And then when it comes, she had eaten bananas, they had drunk juice. That is the past perfect, the past perfect tense. You form the past perfect tense by use of had plus a verb in the past participle, which is different from the present perfect tense, which is formed by has or have plus a verb in the past participle. So I'm going to leave Excel. Like I've always insisted, make sure you make notes. It's good for you. If you make notes, you are in a position, if you're given questions, you are in a position to answer the questions correctly. Make notes, attempt the exercise you are left. You do have a good day.